Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is Shivakant. Thanks for joining this session. Today, we will be discussing Uber Eats design. So we'll be looking at a couple of proposal here, like, what all things we want to prioritize. And based on that, we can fine tune the design. So the design is like kind of half done as of the moment, but the document is kind of well prepared. So yeah, so as the document changes, we can actually modify the design as and when required for the purpose. So yeah, so let's get started. So here, what we are trying to capture is we are trying to design Uber Eats. So the use cases that we are thinking is that there will be end users who will be ordering food from the online portal, like we have a website or app, and there will be listing of food items like restaurants via some sort of uploads. Then there will be place order based on address proximity service. So the listing of restaurants will be also based on some sort of proximity service. Then the order pick up a nearby restaurant of food and item quantities, all those things will happen. And the concrete thing, the order fulfillment, is what we want to emphasize. So here what we are looking for is not the full cycle, but mostly let's say that the order has been placed successfully, and how does the different stages propagate from there. So yeah, so that way, what do you want to emphasize here? So we are just assuming that onboarding of restaurant is not of the concern, and delivery fulfillment part of it is what we want to concentrate on. So similarly, there could be some other question, side question, like are we interested in ratings or no? So we are not interested in that. Similarly, how do you want me to notify to someone? So actual notification system, we are not going to worry much. We will just say that, okay, at each stage of our status, how do we propagate the information? So certain constraints, like first of all, the status is like we have agreed here is like maybe confirmed, then paid, so cooked, pre-processing, and then in transit and delivered. So yeah, so first thing is like, do you think these states make sense, or do you think I should add or remove something here?
Yeah, for now should be fine, because you are saying order confirmed, then whether it is paid, and then in process. So in
Yeah.
transit will be a before, prior to delivery, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and delivery. Yeah, looks okay. Yeah.
Okay.
There
This
might
is
be,
like
if only
when.
thing is if it's cancelled and or something like that in different process, if different state,
Yeah.
then that might be something to worry about later.
Yeah.
Not now, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So for simplicity, we are saying that no refunds, no cancellation, but we can always discuss it out. So here, just to cover the aspects, we will talk about this thing that users should be able to search for food, search a food catalog and select a restaurant from a nearby restaurants. So for this purpose, we are just saying that this is already granted. Internally, we can use some sort of proximity service to implement it. So we are, as of this scope, we are not bothering much. Then users should be able to order food, basically search and then order. So this is also, we are saying that, okay, this is, we can just assume that it is there, and users should be able to track the status. So this is basically, we are saying the most important, that the order is basically confirmed, and then from there it is maybe paid, and then in process and in transit and delivered. So
Siva, here after the in process, do you think like ready to ship something we need to add? Because we are saying like in process directly in transit.
okay, sure. I think that maybe a state like awaiting pickup or something like that, we can add here.
Ready to ship, like Amazon send an email, correct? That usual way.
Yeah, sure. Well, why not? I think we can consider that. So awaiting pickup. So here, basically for each of these waiting state, we will have corresponding who will be notified, how it will progress. So we will slightly alter the design here. And yeah, so users should be able to track the delivery guy's location. So this is something, maybe something that we can notify probably every 10 seconds or 30 seconds. So that will be a non-functional requirement. The quick part here is that which is slightly different from the Uber ride, is that recipient is static. So they are basically not moving here. So this is one thing to note when we compare with the Uber ride. So in Uber Eats, it's slightly different. So the next thing is that the delivery guy should be shared about the delivery location. So these three things are kind of interesting. So order matching is basically who will be the right basically the restaurant or the right delivery boy. Maybe we can slightly touch about it. We'll see how we go and take it forward. So yeah, so let me talk about so till now, like the functional or the business requirements, is it clear and agreed by everyone? Okay, cool. I'll move on. So the non-functional requirement is, the very first thing is we should be able to scale it. So scale is like 10 million daily active users. So what I feel is like 1 million is a bit low, and maybe especially for global scale, and 100 million may be a bit high, like 10% of the one population, close to active population, trying to order food online would be an overkill. So here now this is a big thing, like consistency versus availability. So here it's always debatable, like in couple of older problems also we had this kind of discussion, whether we should have high consistency or high availability. And there are multiple ways to evaluate. One thing is what is more obvious to be important here. So or can we sacrifice a bit of availability, or can we sacrifice a bit of consistency here? So yeah, so these are kind of criteria that can help us identify which one we should pick up in the CAP theorem. So why we are choosing highly available? So maybe so what we are thinking is that if we get notified, let's say there are two replicas, one of the replica, let's say, has stale data. So is it fine to have that data? And anyway, that information will be read by only one user and probably not many user. And if it is something called location data, probably eventually it will be updated anyways. Or let's say if it is a status data, if even if it gets eventually updated, it sounds fine. So that way, if we are choosing eventual consistency, we will be able to the writer will not be blocked, and the reader will be only notified once we replicated it. So yeah, so the thing is, like what if we get the information a little delayed, or if one of the replicas has a different stale information, and maybe after 10 seconds it will eventually have the right information. So I think that would be just fine. It is not the end of the world for this kind of scenario. So yeah, so there are certain debates mentioned here, but I think we don't need to go into that much. So yeah, so here the next thing is like about the availability. So what should be the right number? So this could be always discussed. So by 999 availability, it means it is down for 100 seconds in one day. So maybe if this is sufficient, if it's not sufficient, probably we can add one more 9, and we can justify how we will bring up the system this thing. So we'll not talk about durability numbers. This is just I have noted it for some calculation, but it gets tricky to debate on this. So I'll just kind of remove this per se. So yeah, so the next thing is like a non-functional requirement. Is it read versus write? So what is basically the cacheability that we are looking for. So for instance, so it will totally depend on the different workflows that we are talking about. If we are sharing the location data, then probably it is very write heavy. If it is status updates, then probably it is read heavy. So it will depend totally on the different business scenarios that we are talking about. So we will see what we want to prioritize, and based on that we will see whether if it's indeed read heavy, then what could be the right scenario, or if it is. Yeah. Can someone mute?
Sure, I'll mute her, I think. Yeah, go ahead. I think.
Yeah. So another thing that is interesting or important here is the elasticity. So again, elasticity, like durability, it's very hard to give numbers. So elasticity is an intent that what is the demand and how soon are you able to scale to meet that demand. So what it means is that in a 100% elastic scenario, if there is an additional user, or if that exact millisecond or that nanosecond the user doubled, the system will also be able to take load by doubling probably the servers. So in theory, we can say that, okay, we can double, but in practicality, there is always an activation time. Let's say that, we are talking about EC2 VMs, then it might take, 5 minutes to come up. And if we have, maybe Kubernetes pod, then it might take couple of seconds to come up. So it's always a good intent that we want the system to be elastic, but nothing can be 100% elastic. So that's like, I double the demand that exact second, and do we get the double the server? No, it's not possible in any kind of physical kind of system. So for most practical purposes, especially in spike demand and all, like many people are interested in knowing, okay, what do people do in spikes? So what they do is actually they over provision upfront, and then they get those things. For example, so what I mean here is, let's say that we want to build Uber Eats, and we know that in festivals, whether any festival, without aligning with any religion or country, let's say that they are expecting 5x or 10x traffic. So if they are expecting 10x traffic, can we over provision beforehand, and just hold it and then remove the provisioning once it dies down. So this is also one strategy that people apply. So anyway, sorry, I'm jumping to solution, but just to talk about the next thing is latency. So latency, I think for this system is not much of concern, as long as we are able to fulfill the order, as long as we are able to move from one state to other. And the typical expectation is that, hey, in 30 minutes I want my food to be delivered, right? So so what does it take for all these status to be upgraded, basically to propagate it to the next step and complete the scenarios. So yeah, so so here actual physical fulfillment, checkout and all, we are just dropping here for simplicity, but that could be always talked about. So yeah, so till now, like, requirement is clear. Like anyone has any question, like hey, you did not cover this, shall we do this, what about this thing, and anything of that sort? Any other thing? Yeah.
Yeah, Ishwar, there was Alice and Bob, something written over there. I didn't.
Okay. It's not that crucial. Actually, I was discussing with one of my mock buddy. So we were basically saying that, okay, what if I send you a message, and if it is just one-to-one, and that message is never read by someone else. So does CAP theorem even apply here? For example, in this model, probably the events is transferred via event queue. So this event queue may not actually apply. Basically, there will be a CAP theorem, but how does it differ, and those things we were just debating. Probably I'll just clean it up a bit. And if it makes sense, I will just organize. I will just say example, something of that sort. So anything else? Yeah, so these actually we were discussing in terms of eventual consistency. So what happens is generally, I mean, as a candidate, we rush to a solution like eventual consistency and all, but many times it may or may not be required. For example, let's say we have, Kafka as a queue is there, and Kafka has in sync replica. And so far I recall, if the leader and in sync follower, all of them are updated, then only if it is marked as the message is committed, then in that case it is a strongly consistent replication. So we'll never end into weak eventual consistency. So this is just kind of what we want to prioritize. It may so happen sometime that we don't need to even bother about it, this thing. So that's just kind of touch points. So yeah, so anything else anyone is looking for? Otherwise, I'll move on to the next sections, and now finally we will jump to design. We'll see how it aligns to the expectation. What else can be improved here and things like that.
So like multiple restaurants could be subscribed to Uber Eats, right? So let's say in that particular region, if some customer wants to order, so like how will you show the restaurants?
Yeah. So okay. So let me just I'll just note it down first. Multiple restaurants subscribed to Uber Eats. So what is the scenario here? Can you help me with the scenario?
Scenario, let's say in some region, right, around 5 kilometers, there could be multiple restaurants that they have subscribed to Uber Eats, right? Let's say somebody is staying in some region, right, and he ordered for some food. So how will you, I mean, which all restaurants will you show him, right, based on his location, right? So that
Okay.
you can
Sure. So that would be kind of here we have taken for granted, but maybe a little bit I can elaborate that for the benefit of everyone. So yeah, so here what we can do is from the customers, we will customer app, we will get the location. Okay, or the address that is stored there. So what I've seen is at least in Swiggy, we just click, okay, I want to order the food. Probably on the top there is already an address is there, right? So from that address we can get a lat long. Now on that lat long, what we can do is we can use some proximity service, and we can get the top maybe 50 restaurants in that 5 kilometer radius, or 5 mile radius, and we can show it as pagination, or infinite scroll kind of thing on the app, let's say. So this could be done. Yeah.
But see, you are thinking like the subscriber location. You are taking a subscriber location and going around that 5 miles radius, right?
Yeah.
But actually, that requirement. This is not like Yelp, right? Because the restaurants can be anywhere. Because if I say, okay, if I take only the 5 mile, it might be only covering around me. But if there is some 5 miles to the north, okay, and if I say, okay, I just want the restaurants around that place, but he should be, it should be flexible enough to order from anywhere. So user should not have any problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but if the
Yeah.
distance is, you'll receive your delivery late, right? Let's say.
Yeah, see,
won't
okay,
that,
in that case, if you are in the north and if you just mark a circle around that, maybe from your position, if you go to the north and from there 5 miles, okay, if you mark it, so the same thing will be for the west, north, south, and northwest, northeast also, right? So it can be anywhere, isn't it?
no, but don't you think, like, let's say one restaurant is at 5 kilometer, right, and another is at 10 kilometers. So which one would you prefer to show
But
to the
that's what
user? Like,
the Uber Eats app should do internally.
Yeah, so proximity servers it might be using, right? Like it will get the location of the user, and based on that, 2 kilometer, 3, whatever the threshold is, it should show them the restaurant. No,
But
like
why
definitely.
they should show? Actually, you see, if it's if we have a chain of restaurants of the same brand, like a Mac or so, so any Mac, if it orders, they should be standard, right?
Correct.
I'm just throwing some examples. I don't know.
I
But
think
okay,
it's more to do with the delivery location, right? I mean, wherever the delivery location is, maybe the customer might be staying somewhere else. But as long as he gives the delivery location, it will pick the lat long of the delivery location and accordingly span out 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers, depending on the rule of the application.
Okay, so
Mhm.
the subscriber should not actually select a restaurant, whether because see, if I have some KFC at the north and also at the south of 5 miles, right? Maybe whatever distance it may be. But if for that delivery, logically that south one is more easier for them to deliver than the north one. So the Uber
Correct.
Eats should do it, right? Or is it the subscriber has a choice? What is the requirement?
Yeah. So let me now kind of converge both of these things. So what we are talking about here is the serviceable distance. So for instance, let's say city of Bangalore is there, and here we can assume maybe up to even 10 kilometers we can service here. Just that there will be a long distance or long mile charges will be there, but we can definitely not serve from Hyderabad. Similarly, if we are in Noida, probably we will not be able to get food from Gurgaon. So, some of the hyper cities, like really massive city, the serviceability area will be restricted. So this is one thing, which is the serviceability area. And the other thing is that regarding the listing of the restaurants, actually if both the restaurants, so this is what I have seen personally in while ordering from Swiggy, is that I order from McDonald's and or Pizza Hut, and two of them are very nearby, like let's say one is 1 kilometer, the other one is 1.5 kilometer. So it lists both of them, either they it coalesces it, but it lists both the restaurant, and I can choose from them. For example, they may have slightly different catalog, or maybe for McDonald's will be exactly the same quality, but there could be variations of the same restaurant where there is bigger catalog or things like that. So the customers can actually choose it, because at the end of the day, customer is like God. So yeah, so that is what I've seen, and it works. Yeah. So
Okay, no problem. Yeah, got it. Yeah, thank you.
yeah. So okay, cool. So we'll show it in position or some sort of infinite scroll in the app, and then the customer can choose the restaurant. So basically, they will search the food, and from the food they can get restaurant, or they can search the restaurant, and then they can get the food. So yeah, food or restaurant. So let me choose the restaurant. I will just pick. So we're not much worried about food at the moment. We are just considering that okay, they will select some food item. So they will select and do a checkout, and during the checkout they will do some payment, and after the payment there will be confirmation. Yeah, so let me kind of align these things here. So where were the status we were thinking about? 1 second. Yeah, so confirm paid. So I think we can move it backward here. So basically the customer has paid this, then the restaurant has confirmed in, and then this is cooking in progress, and then awaiting pickup, in transit, and delivered. So largely this should cover the requirement. So yeah, so let me go here, and any other question is there regarding the working, or any specific thing?
I can see you've written no cancellations, Shiva.
Yeah, so this is Yeah, this is for the interview scope kind of. I was thinking no cancellation. We can always build the cancellation, but then that life cycle will get more complicated. I don't think we will be able to explain in 30-40 minutes kind of scenario, because there could be delay in replication, or there could be delay in messages. How do we delete already committed thing? So cancellation actually, the complexity here is, at least in the older Swiggy days, this used to happen that we can do cancellation at each stage. Now think about it, like how many combination it will create. Let's say that we have six stages are there, and and then we terminate with cancellation. So it will have completely different scenarios or complexity. Yes, if someone is interested in this peculiar thing, probably we need to dive deeper there. But in general, this will be like double the scope. Got it, right? Like suppose I pay money and then I cancel, so what will happen? So some sort of refund should happen. What if I I'm confirmed, basically the restaurant has confirmed and they have started cooking, right? So there will be some waste of money will be there. Like let's say that they have already cut some vegetables or whatever, so they are building some biryani. So this can be talked about, but it will almost like double the scope of discussion.
Sure.
So if we have time, probably we can touch upon these, but probably not as a moment. We are parking for later.
I think that will be a big session, isn't it? So it will be a session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe, but that will be
can-
interesting to discuss sometime.
yeah,
Really,
we can have maybe we can have follow up, and there all folks can contribute. Yeah, because I don't think there is a proven solution for any of these. It is
Right.
like a trade-off and agreement, and what stage the company is. For example, the company is in heavily funded, they will refund whatever stage you have done. They don't care. But if they are now want to convert some profits, probably everywhere they will cut some or the other remuneration, and all these things will be the goal will be to make money out of your mistakes. So you paid and you want to cancel, no worries, we will deduct maybe 50 rupees or 10% of your money, whatever is more. So if it is confirmed, probably 20%, 30, 40, 50, 100%. So after delivery, if you want to cancel it, we will cancel, but we will deduct 100% of your money. So yeah, so so it's all open for discussion. So yeah, maybe for some other day. So yeah, so how do you want to take it forward? Like, shall I go ahead and maybe talk about some of these scale estimation, and then storage and compute, and probably we can jump to API and a bit of maybe data model, or and then high level design we can touch upon. So some of these things are like a little sketchy at the moment. We can build as we go on, so that will give us some opportunity to explore alternatives and trade-off. Does that look good?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay,
But
good.
can we have a quick first go through the high level design, and then maybe you can come back again on the scale and everything in the flow?
Sure.
Very-
Why not?
Uh-huh.
Why not? Let's try that out. So there is no dearth of options that we can try here. So the very first thing is, let's say, so what we are targeting here as of the moment is, let's say that the payment is done. Okay, so we are capturing from here. So the document which is this state. So here I'll probably document a lot of things here only, and as a child, just for explanation, or I will create some sections here. So let's say that there is a customer. The customer will come here and they will call the API gateway, which will do authentication, authorization, logging, and rate limiting, whatever we want. So rate limiting and DDoS and all. So once that is done, then it might be also able to fetch maybe user ID and couple of other things, probably location and all, whatever we feel is, first grade citizen here, we can capture here, and finally we can keep it as part of the request. So the very first thing that we can do, this is just to complete the pipeline. This is not a very deep dive that we will be talking about. So we will have the order confirmation microservice. So this guy will come here with some sort of catalog information, that this is my catalog, and let's say I'll come up with some proposal so that we have something to talk about. So not super crucial here, but yeah, just for completion. So let's say that the order that we want to process here is it's having a catalog, not exactly the catalog, but no, what should be the name? Okay, let's say the order placement I'm doing here. So here, what are things I will have is, let's say the item ID, and that is suppose one for idli, and maybe something, item count will be there. So this is something that is always it will quickly become very complicated data model, because many times clubbing together items are possible, and on one item you get something free. So this is again will require some effort to suggest a detailed data model. So as long as we are able to capture the order, and this service is able to make payments here. So let's say that payment is complete, and the amount is also, like, for simplicity, let's say that there is a total amount, and we are just sticking with one denomination. We are not supporting crypto yet. So so this will be, let's say, for simplicity, rupees 500, or for the local currency, maybe in dollars for some people. And so it will go here, and it will go to the payment gateway. It will complete the payment. So here we are kind of just simply touching on this thing, that that we are getting the payment done. So payment processing, I'm just saying very simply here, because if we touch more on this, actually a lot of time will be required. So let's say that this is very simple sync call that we are thinking, that this guy will just go, and maybe there is a payment gateway, maybe for simplicity, can we have Paytm, or like a UPI payment, and once that is done, or for US maybe credit card payment, and once that is done, it will acknowledge that payment is done, and then it will notify the restaurant with a certain status. Now we can think about it like exactly which all pieces do we want, which all pieces do we want sync and async for certain flexibilities. So so if you see this, well, most likely this is a high throughput system, and latency is not that of a concern. So that quickly gives us a hint that hey, instead of sync based system, can we try some sort of async mechanism here. So yeah, so that is always possible. So at stages where we have a little flexibility in terms of consistency versus availability, or little lag we can live with, then we can always go to async model. Otherwise, for the proposal, we can start off with that. Hey, I'll start off with the sync model, and we will see. So yeah, so here, for example, for payment, I'm just saying that there will be some sync call. It will get the confirmation, and probably then it will notify the restaurant. Now, this is kind of open for evaluation, that should we notify the restaurant via sync or async? Should we wait for a callback? So one mechanism could be that we can wait for a callback, and immediately after that, we will notify the restaurant for modification. So this restaurant actually notification, although we are calling sync, so what happens is most likely it will be some sort of mobile device where they will be doing a check or something. So So that mobile device actually, we can, just push an event. So now when we are talking about pushing an event, probably, sync will not be the right thing. So we will have to start off from here, async itself. So let me, kind of make slight update here. So does it make sense, first of all?
Yeah, I think so. That should be fine, because for the restaurant, it makes sense to be an async there.
Yeah. So that is what I'm thinking, that there will be some sort of async model here. So let me kind of make it async. Let's see how it works out, and how do we progress the next set of stages here. So the very first thing that we are thinking is, hey, let's make this async, and so this guy will actually notify here probably, and then will go to this. So the restaurant will then get the confirmation. Now, there are actually, we need some sort of orchestration, or some sort of. So there are two things here, like that the order status, should we control it centrally, or should it be independently orchestrated? So we will see what fits where. We will give a best try to evaluate at the moment, and wherever we feel that okay, this may not be the right justification, we can always flip back. So this is basically what we are sending is status is confirmed, and this is basically the some sort of some metadata will be there, like this is the ordered items, and this is like the counts of those items, and this is basically the amount that they will receive, final amount that they will receive. And yeah, so this is what it will mean, that hey, let's say that one unfortunate day or whatever, the restaurant is under real pressure, and they are not able to take this, right? It could always happen. So if they are not able to take it, probably they will go into some sort of cancellation route. So we can just put a cancellation block here. We will not go deep dive into that, because again that will get very much complicated for today's discussion. Yeah, so maybe some sort of cancellation black box. So what will happen is, this restaurant can just say, hey, I simply cannot take this. The price you are quoting is too less, or the items you are asking is too much. Maybe, we are asking 100 biryani, and that's not possible, right? So they will typically have a mobile device. This is just for interaction purpose. Most likely they will not have a web or all, but we can always build solutions for them. So this will be UI UX kind of more of. So this is cancellation. So what if the restaurant actually confirms that yes, I want to take this order? So what should happen here? So I think this could be the way that this restaurant will have some sort of mechanism to notify this gateway that hey, this is confirmed. Basically, order is confirmed. Order status is confirmed. So what they will do is that it's confirmed versus cancels. That okay, they will start preparing. So that is what we know. So now that we know that okay, they will start preparing. So what would be the next step that should happen? So now here we are thinking that should we have a centralized distribution of based on status, or at different point probably we can have a mechanism through which just pipelined or choreographed system might also work. So we'll just see here. So this is what it looks like, that it will go to this order confirmed status, and then it will be going to the order confirmation queue here. So this queue, what it will do is that okay, so why do I have order payment service here? I think this is slightly wrong. So it is not required, because we already said that okay, we have done the payment. I'll just remove this. So now when the order is actually confirmed, so this is based on the status actually that we can have dedicated consumers. So this is status is confirmed as per the naming that we are agreeing here. So this is confirmed. So it will go to the order status confirmation queue. Now here actually there could be multiple recipients. So the very first recipient would be the customer itself. So I'm just making the customer as a so there will be one consumer which will be customer notifier service. So what it will do is let me just build a block here. Yeah. So this customer notifier service, this will listen to certain events. So where the customer needs to be notified. So the very first event that we already know of is that, hey, the order got confirmed. So I made a payment, order got confirmed. So why not first of all notify the customer, hey, your order has been accepted. So here this guy, when they will receive this, it can go all the way here and notify the customer. So this is the very first thing that I'm thinking. The next thing could be that so this is just for internal notification. What about the next set of stages? So the next stage is that we need to have a consumer that will find some drivers and notify them within some sort of 5 kilometer or radius. So what we intend to do here is that we don't want a driver or rider who is basically not driver. Here the Uber Eats, basically, let's say the bike delivery person. So we will notify this service that, hey, find me the driver, and it will basically consume that event, and then it will process the find driver workflow. So it will do so I'm just thinking, get me all the 5K driver within notification nearby driver. So this will be, first of all, this will be a consumer, and this will consume this message, and it has to keep hold of that message. So until unless actually it finds the driver, it will not commit that message. So slight caveat could be there, but we'll touch upon that. So at least from the functional perspective, what it can do is it can using some sort of proximity service. So let me also build those blocks. So there are always more blocks here. So let's say I'm using some proximity service here. What will the proximity service do? As we talked about during the checkout or the catalog selection, it will find the nearest restaurant similar to this. This consumer, it will find all the nearest basically the delivery boys, and it will notify the nearest 3 drivers, or the let me call it a delivery boy here. So till now, does it make sense? Like, do you think it's aligning with the expectation? Yeah. So what it will do is it will just say that, hey, can someone mute? So it will just say with some sort of message that, hey, I have an order to deliver from here to here, and this is the incentive that you may get. So are you interested? Okay. So what it can do is probably for initial 5 minutes, because here let's say that it will have an SLA. So this find driver, it will have some SLA. So so this is like, I'm just thinking some good proposals. So I'm just assuming that the food preparation will on an average take 10 minutes. So we can always configure it here. This guy could provide those information, but let's say that the food preparation will take 10 minutes. So in 10 minutes, actually, it will provide some SLA to the delivery boy to pick up that call. If no one is picking, then once the SLA is breached, it will force assign someone, and then it has to be rejected by them. So some balancing with that we are trying to do here. So so till now, does it make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, but actually this find driver, that will be the key in this whole system, isn't it? And assigning the right driver, because as you said, if the first 3 drivers they reject for some reason, then again you'll have to have the best next 3 drivers, something like that.
Sure. So let's say that I'm just writing boy. It could be girl as well. So here, what all could be the possibility. So let's kind of discuss it around here. That
Now,
might
I
add
have one
value.
more question. This find driver, it will be some kind of consumer too again, like which kind of service or like uh, what kind of service is this? I mean, I did not see any service box for this find driver.
No, that
Okay,
will be,
this
I
this
think,
one.
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So let me state it in details, and probably we can then touch upon the components. So, and we can probably create some sort of ordering here so that it makes life more easy. So what will happen is that there will be a consume. So we will receive this order confirmation, basically the confirmed event that we will receive here. So this confirmed event, when we are getting here, what we will do is, so this event we got, and this event we will consume. So this is what we are saying here, that there will be some consumer who will consume this event. Now I know in real world there could be several tens of different microservices trying to do it, but in this tri-party already we have so many boxes. So maybe a little bit I might be coalescing some of these boxes, but if we feel absolutely necessary, we might break it. So what will this consumer will do is, it will consume this status confirmed event, and then the very next step it will do is this will definitely have a couple of information. So now maybe I can propose something of this sort. Let me just think about it. Like definitely it will have order order delivery, basically delivery incentive it will have. Then it will have maybe distance, some sort of, or lat long where it has to be delivered, and maybe ETA. So do these kind of things it can calculate upfront, and then tell to the delivery executive. Now some of these things like exact distance and all has to be calculated per delivery boy. So I'll be passing maybe a fixed location of the customer and things like that. So let me think add up here like what all things we can do. So once it comes to the consumer, that what will the consumer do is, based on some lat long of the customer. So instead of distance, I should say lat long. So lat long of the customer, we will do proximity search. So we'll not go into the details of proximity service, but proximity service search, and we will get maybe some top 3 delivery executives. So which is what we can do is, we can have some sort of pagination kind of thing, where not for visual delight, but more for consumption. That what it will do is that it will build maybe maybe 5 pages or something like that. So what it will do is it will probably select from the proximity service 15 delivery executives. So this could be configurable as well, or but this is just one proposal. And what it will do is, it will notify notify the nearest 3, or a batch of 3 nearest, or batch of 3 delivery executives. And what they have to do is, they have to come back and say that, hey, I actually accepted this order. So let's say that they rejected. So any of those people in the graceful flow, if they are rejecting, we will just ignore it. We will have some timeouts. Let's say maybe 1 minute timeout for each batch. So can we do this kind of thing? So these are actually proposals. It can always be debated. So after 1 minute, yeah.
Yeah, so like in second point you mentioned like it should be near customer. So shouldn't it be like near like
Yeah. So, sorry.
restaurant?
Yeah. It has to be in your restaurant. My bad. So yeah, it's my bad. So let me say that it will be a restaurant let long we will have, and then we will have customer let long. Yeah, it was a miss from my side. So here it will be a restaurant. From the restaurant let long, we will search the nearest delivery executive. Once we have those delivery executive, let's say we are talking about a happy flow. So one of the delivery executive, they actually accept the accept the order, and so what exactly will happen there? So a couple of things that we can think of is, the very first thing is, this has to be communicated back to the system. So how do we do that? So can we have this looks like a big pipeline now coming. So
Hey,
can we
one
have
thing,
some sort of,
Shiva, can I
yeah, sure.
interrupt you for a minute? Something.
Yeah, sure.
But
Why not? Yeah.
why I'm saying is, yeah, as you are saying that whenever order comes in, it goes directly to the delivery executive and then they select it, right? But what
Yeah.
if we actually have some centralized, some component which will actually create a delivery, what you say, a trip, because that will be like a delivery guy has to go to a particular restaurant in order, pick up all that and then go to that, so that all of that planning will have to be done by a single component, not the delivery executive, right?
Central
Yes.
service.
Okay. I understand, and it will be a bit more complicated
Okay,
than
okay,
just this.
okay, no problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get your point. So yeah. So here, or maybe we will require some sort of route planning for this. So let's say that this actually goes to, yeah. So yeah, I think
Maybe
that
let it keep it simple. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
yeah. No,
Let's go.
I think I'm fine with your suggestion. Let me align with that, because that adds value here. So we can have, some separate service. So as of now, I was just thinking probably I will route through this, but that will be an overkill. So can we have some sort of, route planning service where, once the delivery boy is assigned, then it will go to the route planning service, and then that service will actually tell the next set of location and lat long and everything, and then it will keep notifying this delivery executive. So what we can do here is, let's say that this confirmation, basically, let's say that we have route planning service that it will go. So what will happen is that this delivery person, they will just go, and through the gateway, it will actually go, and it will reach the route planning service. So I'll clean up these arrows in a while, but for the moment, we will just say that, okay, this route planning service, so what it will do is that it will, let me a little bit detail around that. So as of now, this part looks clear. Like we talked about that there will be a status that will be consumed, and based on some lat long of the restaurant, we will do proximity search, pick up the this thing on basically timeout or cancellation. We will keep moving to the next the next set of delivery executives. So does it make sense, at least this part?
Can I ask one more clarification question? So like,
Sure.
let's say in first batch, 3 delivery boys are sent with the pickup request. And if
And-
like one, if like more than one accepts the request.
yeah, got it. I think there are always nuances once we go into the details.
Yeah.
So
Maybe keep just a single component and just all the come there and let them do their intelligence there, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So that will be much
So
easier to follow. Yeah.
yeah, I get it. So yeah, maybe some sort of first come first serve or some other model. So I think there will be nuances. Definitely, it's not very easy for each of these things. Actually, there are teams in company that do, like 8-member team. So we are just making boxes here. So yeah, I agree that there will be more nuances. So let's say that we reach this route planning service. So what all can happen here? So this could basically take up from here, like because we already have see when restaurant is just staying at one place, there is not much need of optimization here. But once we have taken our resource, which is a delivery executive, so we will have to definitely put more effort into optimizing them. So so we need some sort of service where we can do those optimization. So couple of things that we can think of in the route planning is that can we have some batching of orders, so let's say that so these are just possibilities. We will not be able to provide all the solution. Batching of orders, then like how to give the directions for pickup, how to give directions for delivery. So then there will be some sort of if there is cash on delivery, so how do we instruct collect cash and all. So there could be a lot more thing. So how to instruct the delivery executive, and there will be how on the completion of this thing, like how they will move to the next stage, which is like delivery confirmation. So how the app will know that okay, they have picked up. So even before that, like they have to mark that once they get accepted, it will be awaiting pickup or in transit and delivered. So that there are many more statuses that are coming. So what we can do here is that some of these things, like we were talking about, could be detached. Some of these things could be like centralized or orchestrated kind of thing. So this looks like from here on, like it should be orchestrated in a way that because we want to optimize on the efficiency of the delivery executive here. So I'm just saying anything else do I have. So driver consumed, push notification user service. So what we can do is on any of these status updates, let's say this guy will take take the status, and it can again notify the customer. So where is the customer here? One sec. So on the status change, it can always notify the customer. And this will also have like a next set of stage, like in transit, in delivered. How does it do? So we can have maybe this guy will be in constant communication with the delivery executive. So this is what I'm thinking. I think there will be still more details that we will have to build up here. That whenever they get some confirmation, this guy basically the delivery executive will keep moving from one state to another, and it will go in a loop and it will modify. So again, for all these notification, we can have some sort of definitely queue-based mechanism, so that we can scale independently here. So delivery executive is what we are thinking here. So there will be still a lot of moving pieces, like once the route planning, something changes, like once they say okay, I've reached the restaurant, so the delivery executive will just say okay, I have reached the restaurant. So it will go to the route planning service with some status, like reached, or accepted the order. Maybe there will be more states anyways. And once it comes to the accepted and they start moving, then there will be at the end of day it will be arrived or something. So now arrived could be overloaded. Like some people can say that arrived at restaurant are we talking about, or arrived at the customer, or do we even need that? So for simplicity, we can just say that this will be some sort of delivered. So does the payment again, like if it is some sort of cash on delivery, does the delivered status actually comes before cash on delivery, or first of all we take the money and then we deliver? So those kind of life cycle has to be built on the delivery executive app itself also. So it has to be little aware about these information. And so here, this part basically, routing status information has to be, propagated properly here. So largely these will be the moving pieces. I know a lot more can be done here. So any other questions here, or do you think like we could refine this path a bit like this, and this could be the way we could improve it, because all these pieces in itself are very complicated. We may not be able to highlight all these pieces to the best detail. Probably we can touch upon one and then concentrate, or we can move to the other based on what we are looking for as part of the discussion scope. So at high level, like, does it look good? Like, okay, yeah, this might work. Like, okay, I see a lot of moving pieces. Like, okay, looks doable to me. So yeah, so what do you think?
It definitely
So-
looks doable, and also because actually I slightly diverge your thought, therefore
Okay. No,
it
not
that way,
a
but
problem.
that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's actually a bit of
but
an
it's a
improvement
complex
only.
one, right? The whole system,
Yeah.
the delivery system itself is very complex.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what
Yes.
you did, you made a lot of sense, and you really did a lot of good
Okay.
stuff here.
Okay.
No
Thanks.
worries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
someone
So
had a
one
question. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
in that
Yeah.
delivery executive app, if the return cancelled, right, then again it will be rerouted, right? Let's say it got
Yes.
accepted
Yes.
some item, but item was not available. Maybe it can be there, right? Something like that, right?
So that unhappy
Yes.
path, we said initially that we will just keep it aside for some time, isn't
Yes,
it?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Otherwise, if
yeah.
cancellation happens, then again same thing will be rerouted, right? And then
Yeah.
Yes.
we-
So cancellation. Yeah. So maybe we can touch upon the cancellation flow a bit, just for benefit of discussion. So let me be very frank. This is far from perfect. There can be always questions asked, and this is open for discussion. And some people might say that, okay, I don't like this, and they might guide you for further improvement. And yeah, so that can always be done here. And based on those effort, we can keep expanding certain scope. But let's do some deep dive on maybe cancellation. I think this is more tricky, and if we are able to explore this, I think well and good. So let's talk about it. This is an open discussion. So for this happy flow, I'm mostly done with it. I don't have anything else. I'll just slightly delete this. This is what I was thinking earlier, but I have moved it to a separate component. So so this is what largely it looks like, that so yeah, slight modification or maybe improvement, that all these things will be centralized via route planning service that it takes up here. And because this is an expensive resource, like delivery executive is roaming around, we cannot just let it we need some sort of more fine-grained control. So yeah, so here actually with a centralized service, we will be able to do cancellation much easier. So let's think about the cancellation in for fun, and I think it will be an open discussion. And it might vary from company to company and scope to scope. So as of now, I'll keep a scope which is most graceful for the end customer. So let's say that it has you are in order placement stage, which is before this. So if you do cancel, so actually there is no cancel. It will the app will just there will be a basket will be there, so app will clear the basket. That's all right. So yeah, so am I going in the right direction? People are interested. I hope they are interested, because this is much more complicated. I think these things, at least we will get some credit of talking to this level. So that's why I'm going here. So the very first stage will be like order placement. If you just cancel it, so the app will clear the basket, basically the so that makes sense, right? Now the next thing is we are into the paid
So in this
state.
case, now we will have to rate everyone also, right? Along with the cancellations, when we'll have to rate the client also. Maybe if he keeps on canceling too much, So there should be some
Yeah.
way to actually take care of that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So
Tracking
there
Yeah.
will be
machines.
many things in that other than
Yes,
just canceling.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I think, yeah, so ratings and all we can do definitely. So I'll just note for.
I don't want you to add that, but I'm just thinking loud.
Sure. Yeah. So let's say we are in a paid state and we are doing, cancel here. So what can we do here? So what we are thinking is this is just paid, but not yet confirmed by the restaurant. So, cancel from here on, we will just say cancel request. Okay. Because we are obliging to the customer. We may or may not do it for everyone. We can have some sort of rate, like I will just add up your value here. We can have some sort of customer rating or credit based value, where a high credit customer, probably we can allow this request, and probably for new customer 3 cancellations will be done with free of cost, and after that it could be done with 30% deduction. We can build complex model around it, and we can put it in terms and condition page, which is like, okay, awesome, we like it very much to read. So yeah, so we can have maybe yeah, first 3 cancellations are totally free. Then we can think about for high credit customer. So again, all these things will require effort. This is just a proposal. We can create 100 user stories, and it might require 30 engineers for 6 months to build this thing, right? We are just proposing as an architect or something like that. High credit customer, we can allow maybe theoretically infinite cancellations. So now this could be, and after that maybe some sort of 30% or maybe rupees 50 minimum deduction we can do. So this will totally depend on what stage the company is. The next thing is confirmed. So by confirmed, it means that the cook, basically the restaurant has accepted this order. Let's say this is what we are assuming. It might vary from terminology to terminology, and we are requesting cancellation. Now it could very well happen that this is totally outsourced. Let's say that we trigger an API and it has gone to McDonald's. Okay, so McD actually does not allow cancellation for whatever reason. So if it does not allow cancellation, then we cannot do anything about it. So this could be one scenario. Do anything about it. The next thing could be that we can have maybe it's some sort of cloud kitchen, where we are much softer on these customer concerns. So we can say 100% cancellations can be done, and I don't know whether it will be a wastage of food or will it be served to the next customer. So we'll just keep it in oven and not waste it. So cancellation refund we can do here. So, and anything in between, let's say so I'll just put a bracket like 100% outsource. So this is just a gateway. So here Swiggy will be some sort of gateway, right? I think MACD or this Domino's, they might be somewhere in this model. So after this, even the status tracking we are not doing, right? So if we are not doing any of that, then it will be totally on them. We have to call, and it is least bothered. And something in between, again, we can set some price or something, or again on criteria, we can allow certain refund. Okay, so this is one thing. Now I'll just go into maybe cooked in progress, something like that. So here again, so this is a pressure that we are giving to the restaurant. So there could be wastage of food that we are seeing. So there will be different rates here. Now these are with respect to only terms and condition and refund processing. So from there on, the only I mean, at stage no one else was involved. So but still we already notified this restaurant. So how do, some open question will be, how do we send basically what it's called, poison pill or whatever. Basically we want to destroy the message that was sent to the restaurant. Like they haven't opened the app and they received, hey, you have an order to process, and immediately after that 10 seconds probably we want to completely vanish it. We don't want to trouble it. So we'll have to build some sort of system here, and once it is confirmed, and then we will have to build some sort of another notification to the restaurant, and we have to make sure that restaurant don't feel that they are pressurized or penalized as part of this total thing. So we will have to tell them that, hey, you will still get rupees 50 or something for for as a penalty. So don't worry too much about it. And once we go down, then it gets more complicated. Like if it is awaiting pickup in transit, so it gets more and more complicated. I think we'll not be able to talk all of them, but let's say if it gets into any of these stages and we are canceling, so what we will have to do is that think about it, that so many parties are involved. Like already someone is awaiting for pickup, it is in cooking in progress, and then we cancel, and we will have to tell the cook, hey, don't cook now, probably throw away the food. To the delivery executive, we will have to say, hey, don't come now, go back wherever you are, just be happy. And if they are in transit, they are already delivering, what are we supposed to do with that food? And if they have already delivered, so these will require almost like maybe a lot of product discussion. I don't think an engineer would be able to take a decision on what would be the right thing, because we will have to also see what is the percentage of cancellation that we are receiving. If it is less than some X threshold, Y threshold, and Z threshold, then we will have to build different strategies around it, and we'll have to see that the impact of cancellation, where is it maximum? Is it we are wasting delivery executive time, or we are wasting money on the restaurant, or the restaurant is starting to lose money? So these nuances would come up, and we'll have to always think about it. So again, this will require maybe several hours of brainstorming to come up with something which is more solid. Yeah, so I think in this limited time, this is something that I would like to close on, not more than that. So yeah, so that's also anything else.
Well, this was awesome, man.
Okay.
you covered the cancellation also so well. Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, so at least we will have the good thing I thought is, at least we will have something to talk about now.
Yeah.
They may be interested that, hey, I'm really interested in what will be the role play of restaurant here. Do you? So now, I mean, this is such a scenario. Think about it. We don't think twice and we cancel the food, and think of the impact.
It's so much of stuff happening, and it involves cost. So much of cost.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
much of cost. Yeah, and complexity, so much of because because if we are building async system, and it could very well happen that the restaurant will get your order is cancelled, and after that 5 seconds they will get, hey, you received this order. So what do they do there? So it's always complicated. So we'll have to also put maybe like some customer support, and who will have all the status events logged somewhere. So if something really nasty happens, at least they know how to handle. Like the restaurant will call the customer care and they will say, hey, I received that this is cancelled, and then I received that this I have to do, whether I have to do or cancel, and then they will say, give me a minute, I'll check. Similarly, the customer will say that, hey, by mistake I cancelled, and it is still in progress. So this will again be very big piece, and I think there is no perfect solution possible. At the end of the day, it will be best effort, and this is what I've seen, that you order ice cream, it is halfway anyway, it will melt. So what do you do with it? So either you throw it away or whatever. So best effort is the thing that we can think of. Yeah. So yeah, so I think this is what I have in this time, and it was nice having this discussion. I think I got some hints as well, which guided us to add in some dedicated components, and hopefully this was useful for everyone. So yeah, so some of these things are scale estimation. These are very common, like we have seen in other sections as well. I think we can anyway extend this for APIs. I think again a little bit extra effort will be required, so that is not done. And some of these justification and all, we can always have open questions. So some of these things we can discuss. So yeah, so yeah, that's all I have for the evening. Yeah, so maybe we can close off now. Yeah.